I don't know if I'm imagining it or what, but it looks to me like a little turtle. Hello there folks, Praia de São Miguel, Biguaçu. Now this is down just before Florianopolis, 85k from my place. A nice steady ride down there. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know anything about this place. I've visited the town once. That's a little bit further down south. Not a lot. Quite a big place actually. It's spread out over a big area. There's about 10 beaches here. Now, this is one of the first beaches, this Praia São Miguel. And the only reason I found this was on YouTube. I had a look on YouTube yesterday to get an idea about the beaches down here. And this was one of the ones which they were showing more of on YouTube. So, quite a long beach, but very narrow. Well, that's not a problem. Very calm waters, as you can see here. Very good for people bathing. Clear and calm waters apparently. Very nice soft sand. So let me show you around. I've just stepped onto the beach and this is it, look. Very narrow, as I say, but it goes all the way down there. There's a bit of an outlet there, look. Cross over that outlet and then go all the way down there. I think that down there is on the other side there. That's the north part of Florianopolis, the capital, the north part of the island. So here we go, look, and the beach goes up there. So we've got a road here which runs along the front. Dead end there. Very calm, quiet place, but I think it gets a lot of tourists. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk up that direction first, then come back down, and I will cross over this little bit of an outlet and go down there and do the other half a little bit later. I've got all day, nice and steady. Well, that's my first coin, folks, 25 cents. Right on the edge of the water there. I've walked a couple 100 metres. Hardly anyone about. One guy sat there with an umbrella having a few beers at 9 o'clock in the morning. The couple there walking, they arrived at the same time as me. There's someone laid on the pier there with their legs in the air. And there's a couple of guys sat there drinking near the lifeguard post. I'm going to continue up there anyway. I imagine this place is pretty good for fishing out here. I noticed on YouTube a lot of these beaches down here, we've got a lot of fishing boats on them. And they're like bays, aren't they? Full of bays down here, little islands, so it's a good place. But anyway, restaurant there, look. There's another coin, folks. I think it's a 10 or a 5. Not sure. Maybe a 5. Ever so calm, as I said earlier here. I've just walked past that pier and them two guys drinking and they were having a chat. Talking shite, as usual. They make me laugh, these folks do, on the streets. They've always got money for bloody alcohol, haven't they? Not got anything but alcohol and cigarettes. They've always got them. It looks to me as this water will be pretty deep out there. You can see it there, look, where the waves break. It looks as though it drops right off there. You know. 2 meters, that's a bit more. About there, it drops right off. Anyway, keep going to the end there. Another coin, folks. Another 25. That's very heavily corroded, that is. But anyway. Can you see that bird in the tree there, look? That's a fish-eating bird. Or something like that, anyway. It's like an egret. They walk in the water, don't they? Wade in the water looking for crustaceans and fish and things. So folks, look at these footprints here. Quite big. And they come from in there. That tube. Some kind of an outlet, storage outlet or something. Oh, they go in there. Well, they're coming out of there. And going down to the water. So, maybe an otter. One of those big otters. I don't know. Anyone knows? Let me know. Look, have a good look. They're not dog, are they? No way are they dog. They've got big claws. I'd say an otter, I would. One of those big sea otters. Here we got a little bit of rain, folks. I've just walked past the restaurant, coming back down to where I started. They're setting the tables. Smells nice anyway, the food. Oh, but it's not 10 o'clock still. So yes, I'm not far from where I started. Go down to those rocks there and then go on to the other beach. Forecast of rain actually later this evening, so this will only be a light shower. Well, that little shower has passed. There's another restaurant there, the white one, and brown around the windows. It doesn't look like a restaurant. Maybe on the other side is their main entrance, but I saw a guy inside setting the tables. So I'm on the point here now, and I'm gonna go down there. There's another restaurant there also. Walk down there. See the traffic there just behind the houses? That's the main BR101, which runs along the coast from north down to south in Santa Catarina. And very, very close. That's where I've come down there. We're very easy to find actually. Very well signposted. Just before Biguaçu, the sign for São Miguel. And apparently this place has got a lot of history about it. There's a museum somewhere also around here. But anyway, I've not had any luck, but we'll continue. Well, I'm halfway down the second part of the beach where I come from there. And that's where I'm heading. But I don't think I'm going to have any luck here, to be honest. I don't think this beach gets that busy. But you never know, do you? I'm not giving up. You never know. Continue. At least I know the place now. That's the thing, isn't it? If you don't come out, you never know, do you? I will come down here again actually and find some more beaches also. There must be loads down here, especially in Florianopolis. There's loads. And going back up, I passed Governador Celso Ramos. Loads of beaches around there also. Just a matter of getting out, isn't it, and exploring them. And I mentioned once before, the wider the beach, the more people are going to go to it. This beach is very narrow. You've got these houses here. I think most of these will be holiday lets, but anyway, I'm going to have a little break here, 5 or 10 minutes. Just have a look here. Lovely and calm here. It's a perfect place actually if you've got a little rowing boat or a little inflatable or a kayak, paddle boards. There's a couple of boats there, look. I noticed a paddle board inside the yard of an house up there. Hey, get in your kayak, you go out there, do a bit of fishing. That marker there, that buoy, it looks to me as though it's sat on a rock, marking a rock. And at the end of the beach there's some kind of an abandoned building. We'll have a look when we get down there. Oh yeah, nice place. Really nice. Can you imagine in the days when the pirate ships come down the coast and they pulled into these bays exploring, right? There's got a little dog there, just come out of one of those houses there. This place here, look, I imagine that's some kind of an holiday let. Anyway, I've just found another coin right in front of the place. It's only a 5 or a 10. Can't remember what they are. As I mentioned before, I don't use many actually. The only time I use them is when I go through a toll road. Coming down here today, paid a toll, $2.85 each way. So anyway, we will continue. It's lovely and calm, that water is. Really nice. Have a look at that little boat or jet ski. Hey, I bet they use that for fishing. One guy, he's got his rod holders, he's got one seat, high up, he's got a spot lamp on the front. There's another one over there, look. Not finished yet. Yellow and white one. There's a nice little fishing boat. Fiberglass. Look at these containers there, lot. Green containers. And one over there, blue one. So basically container houses. Down at the bottom also are containers. They've just put that tiling around, haven't they? Brick. Yeah, I bet that little boat, I bet that moves on in the water actually. Jesus Christ, they've made a job of that, haven't they? They've covered the entire roof over the tiles with that silver. Well, it's it's like a flashing. It's a bitumen based, bitumen on one side and like a foil on the other. And they just mould it on. It'd be easier to rip the roof off, wouldn't it, and put some roof sheets on. Like that one there. Jesus Christ. Trouble is, them old roof tiles, I know what they are, them clay tiles. When you get wind blasting in off the sea here, blows under them. And rain, wind lifts them up, rain enters. And if you haven't got a membrane under them, you get rain in your house. Simple as that. Well, I'm not far from the end now, folks. There's a guy stood there on the rocks in front of that building at the end. Well, I don't know what those old buildings would have been. Set the steps there going up. So that one, and there's one there, look, at the front. That guy there, he's got a young lad with him. Maybe his son, eh? Yeah, I don't know what those buildings would have been for. Maybe something to do with fishermen. This seems more like a little fishing beach than anything. Especially down this end. Nearly every other house has got a boat outside down this end here, so they make a living with fishing, don't they, most of them? So whether that's a restaurant or not, I do not know. It looks like it. They've got no signs, have they? On the back here, maybe on the front road. There's a road runs behind those houses, like a slip road adjacent to the main door carriageway. But everyone I've passed, restaurant so far, they're all laying the tables out, so they must have some customers during the day, eh? Well, that break between the hills there, that takes you out to the open sea. And as I said before, I think that is the north, on the right of the opening, is the north side of Florianopolis, the north part of the island. Oh, really nice place. So anyway, I'm going to head back, nice and steady, but a little bit further in this time. As I mentioned, I've never been here before to this beach. I've been to the city all the time, Biguaçu, but I've never been here. But funnily enough, I know a guy from Brusque who owns a shop in Brusque. He's a mechanic, an engineer. He's in his 60s, and he was showing me some photos actually on the computer. Oh, only a couple of months ago of this place down here. We're talking about the history. And he owns an house on this beach here. He's got an holiday house. He lives in Brusque, but he's got an house here, and he comes down every weekend. Comes down on a Saturday and goes back on a Sunday evening. I'm walking along looking at the houses and thinking one of these houses, I think up the first part of the beach actually, because he did show me, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the house, but it was quite a smallish type house. So maybe at the first part of the beach where I went. Alright, coincidence then. It's the first beach you arrive on before you go into Biguaçu. So convenient. Well, that guy and his son are just leaving, so let's go and have a quick look there before I continue back up. I thought maybe he was fishing here, but no, he was just sat on his phone actually, and his son was having a walk around this building. Look at these big lumps of granite. Probably a nice spot actually to do a bit of fishing, sat on the rocks here. So here we go, look. Let's get on this rock here. I wonder what that place was. I'll have to look into this. Oh, you can go through there actually. So, I don't imagine the water comes in that far, but it obviously goes up so far, doesn't it? On the darker coloured stones. Oh, it's got louvers on the windows there. I don't know what it could be. Maybe it's something to do with fishing, as I said. Maybe whaling or something like that. Anyway. Well, I've come onto these rocks here, you know, it's bloody slippery as anything. You've got to be really careful. Alright, so you can go through there, around the rocks. There'll be some more beaches along there. All the way along the coast here, you got beaches. But anyway, I'm not going through there today. I'm going to head back up there. Continue detecting. It's about 11 o'clock just gone now. Have a look at this, what I've just found. What does that look like to you? Right. It's some kind of metal, aluminium or something like that. It's full of, got loads of crustaceans on it. So that's the underside, and that's the top. I don't know if I'm imagining it or what, but it looks to me like a little turtle. It could be just a piece of junk, squashed metal. But it does look like a turtle to me. It was in the sand there. It was probably laying its eggs at some time and it got squashed by a tractor or something on the beach. Right. I'll take that anyway and clean it up and have a look, a better look. Turtles. So, tell me, what is this? It looks like aluminium to me. It's light. It bends, flexible. Is it just a piece of scrap, or is it one of those bracelets? Broken. I think it's just a piece of scrap, to be honest. Anyway. I am back. Almost where I started. I started there, where that tower is. So I've been right to the end of that one there, that beach, past the pier. And I've been right down there to the end of this one, to the abandoned house building. So there's a few people in the restaurant there. 10 people. It's getting quite warm actually now. Just right actually. So I'll do a little bit more around here and that's about it for today, folks. There we are, folks, the grand total. Now I've given that a good clean up with my knife. Scraped it and it does look like a turtle, to be honest. You see the pattern on the, you know, the shell pattern on the back. You see? Still got a lot of bloody corrosion on it. Underneath I've scraped a load of scale off of it. But I don't know what metal it is still. It's pretty tough. It's like a cast aluminium or something like that. Or it could be something else. It could be like pewter or zinc or whatever. Anyway, that there, I'm sure that is just a bracket off of, maybe off a guttering or something like that. And then we got the coins here, 225s, and I think one's a 5 and one's a 10 or something. But yeah, I could have easily left that, you know. I know it's nothing, it's not worth anything, I don't think so anyway. I wouldn't have thought so. But you know, it's just a piece of trash. You see the pattern on the back now, the shell. Hey? Just have one quick look around, one last look. I'll be having something to eat here and then I'll be away. It's about 12:30. So I arrived about 9 o'clock this morning, so I've had a good 3.5 hours. Well, a good 3 hours walking. As I say, there'll be a lot more beaches down here. Continue down there, hell of a lot. And back in the direction I'll be going home. I passed this morning Celso Ramos, Governador Celso Ramos. Loads of beaches there. So maybe next time I'll go there and have a look round. I have been to Celso Ramos many times, so I do know where the beaches are. Well, I need to get out discovering new places. As I say, if you don't go and have a look, you never know, do you? At least I know now. I should think you do get a few people here, but there'll be other beaches which are better and bigger. You need the wider beaches where you get more people on. So alright then folks, at least we know now. Thank you very much, and don't forget, this is Praia de São Miguel, Biguaçu. Okay, just before Florianopolis, Biguaçu. So look after yourselves. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.